Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. We have news, but before we get into that, I just want to take a minute and ask you guys to make sure that if you like this type of content, that you hit that subscribe button as well as the bell next to it to be notified of every video I post here on the channel. And if you could do me a huge favor and give this video a thumbs up, that'll help the channel out greatly every time you do that. Anyway, on with the news. The very first thing that we have for you guys is actually from Puiu Art. I haven't really had a chance to promote anything from them for quite a little while, but they have a brand new Tyrannosaurus model out, and not only is it a Tyrannosaurus, but it is a young Tyrannosaurus. This model clearly represents the young Tyrannosaurus from the Lost World Jurassic Park, and I think they overall have done a fantastic job on it. It is in 1/35th scale, but it scales very nicely with a lot of the 1/35th scale figures, and the price is $45 plus shipping. This is already being shipped to customers, so if you are interested in it, you can pick it up right away. But we also have some other images here that were taken by Jurassic Brazil on Instagram, and he has some really nice pictures that he has taken here, and also has included some images with the Nanmu male and female Tyrannosaurus to kind of give you a good idea of scale, but also how nice it looks with those figures. If you are interested in this, I will include a link as always in the description to where you can contact Puiu Art on Instagram, or you can contact me and I'll contact them for you. And then when it comes to the beasts of the Mesozoic, we have a look at the brand new version coming of the Pachyrhinosaurus. This is based on the Walking with Dinosaurs Scowler paint job, and this is not completely finished quite yet. It's in progress, but you can see that again, it looks fantastic. In my opinion, way nicer than the first version of the Pachyrhinosaurus, which I was a huge fan of from the Beasts of the Mesozoic line, but this one, in my opinion, looks way better. It seems like that's pretty common, where a lot of the Fans Choice paint schemes look so nice and usually end up becoming my favorites, and this is just like with the Medusa-Ceratops. This Pachyrhinosaurus is definitely going to be my favorite version of it. And we also have a look at the packaging for the upcoming Triceratops. We again have the adult Triceratops getting a re-release, but this time with a really nice greenish paint scheme, and you can see it's part of the Cyberzoic line, and you can see how cool the packaging and everything looks. Beautiful artwork all over that. Really excited for this figure, and you can also see what the figure would look like inside. This figure is currently up for pre-order on the Creative Beast Studio website. And then as far as Shane Foulkes and the Cretaceous Creations of America goes, we have a look at his fully finished, fully painted Torvosaurus. This is a brand new model from him that you can purchase right now, and of course if you are interested, you can have Shane paint it up for you, and you can have him painted up exactly like this one. I think Shane is pretty much the master when it comes to paleo art, whether it's sculpting or painting. I don't know that anybody can make a dinosaur look more realistic and alive than Shane Foulkes, and you can completely see that here when it comes to his Torvosaurus. So if you are interested in this as well, I will include a link to Shane Foulkes on Facebook, as well as a link to the Cretaceous Creations of America website. And then as far as Mattel goes, we have quite a bit here, but we have a look at some really cool brand new extreme damage figures that have recently been found in Korea. This is thanks to Collect Jurassic for this information, but we have a Quilmosaurus as well as a Pyroraptor, so some really cool stuff. I did figure the Pyroraptor was coming, the Quilmosaurus not so much. I had no idea that one was getting a release, but two figures I will be very excited to see hitting the United States, hopefully at some point in the near future. But considering the Extreme Damage line is a Walmart exclusive, kind of worries me, kind of concerns me at times, because Walmart is not very good when it comes to stocking their products, but hopefully it will in fact show up here in the United States. And then a huge thank you goes out to Dino Mike Mac for this information, but it seems as though we have a really cool Battlegate playset coming from Mattel. This was also posted originally by, and I cannot say their name, I'll just put it up here on the screen because I'm really not too sure exactly how I should pronounce that, but they posted the images originally, and you can see we have a really cool playset that includes Velociraptor Beta. Definitely something that I'm really happy to see, because playsets in the Mattel line are something that we haven't really had before, and we have had some minifigure playsets recently, so it's really awesome to see playsets for the larger, more mainline from Mattel, and I can't wait to see more like the upcoming Outpost Chaos playset. Definitely a great time to be a Mattel or Jurassic collector. And then we also have some brand new Roar Attack reveals. These as well have been shown off thanks to Collect Jurassic. The first one we have is the Iguanodon, and it looks not quite as nice as I was hoping. Like, the sculpt looks nice, the paint job is pretty boring and bland. It would have looked nicer if the stripes were running the entire course of the body. Had they run those stripes down the entire body, it would have been a fantastic release. And then we also have the Lioplurodon, and this one is really exciting to me, one that I personally cannot wait to get a hold of. Not the best paint scheme as per usual, but it also doesn't look that bad. It's hard to really tell from the angles that we can see here, but it definitely looks like a great figure and a really cool species they've chosen to give us. Then we have the Megaraptor, and the Megaraptor looks fantastic. The sculpt is really cool. The paint job also looks really nice. Definitely one that I am very excited to get my hands on. Definitely, I would say, one of my most anticipated now for the upcoming few lines. And then we also have the Sinoceratops, and the Sinoceratops, when you see the figure here in package, doesn't look that great. It looks okay, but once you see it out of the packaging and you see how the tail is like that entire kind of like yellowish coloration, I think it looks a lot nicer. Still not great, but fairly cool, I would say. And then we also have more Roar Attack figures to take a look at here, as we have some images of the Triceratops, the Pteranodon, the Rajasaurus, as well as the Ichthyovenator. And these figures look really cool. I think the Ichthyovenator is very nicely done. It's a very unique looking dinosaur and a beautiful sculpt with a really nice paint job. Probably one of Mattel's nicer figures as far as I'm concerned, because it just looks so cool. But the Rajasaurus looked okay from the front, not so great from the back. The coloration looks really nice and could have looked nice if they had run that white color along the entire underside. I would have loved this figure, but it looks kind of boring to me. The Pteranodon definitely looks like a really fun repaint, though. I love the colors on the head and out there on the wings, so that one is definitely one that I'm pretty excited about. And I think even though the Triceratops from the rear here, you can't really tell how nice it looks, I think that's probably one of the nicest Triceratops repaints that we've had from Mattel. We also have the massive action figures here revealed officially for the first time, as we have the Cyanosaurus, and this one looks awesome. Such a beautiful looking sculpt, really cool looking paint job, kind of has that splotchy coloration there all throughout the body like we've seen on a lot of Mattel figures recently, and I do really quite like that. This is one figure, again, another one of my most anticipated, I would say, and one that I really cannot wait to get a hold of. And then the other one is the Ankylosaurus, and this one looks really nice. I was really excited to get a sauropod, but the tail, maybe it's just from this angle, it's hard to tell, but that tail just looks exceptionally short, like distractingly short. The paint job looks nice, although I will say that the promotional images they had used for it prior when it comes to the Generation Jurassic event had kind of like a little bit of striping out there on the tail. It definitely looked better. Hopefully it's just the angle and the tail won't look so obnoxious when we see the figure in hand. And then we also have a look at some brand new Hammond Collection figures, and these images are thanks to JP Toys on Instagram. First of all, we have the Gallimimus. We have a nice, really close-up shot here of the head, giving you a pretty good idea of what the detailing looks like, as well as the really nice paintwork. Not exactly what you would see on a Jurassic Park-style Gallimimus. I definitely think this is more of a Jurassic World-style Gallimimus, but it still looks really quite nice. You also have this image here that kind of shows a much wider shot of the Gallimimus, the full body, and I think it looks fantastic from this image. But what you can also take note of is that we have Alan Grant in this image, and that's really exciting because it's another human character. We did know we were getting this one, but it's nice to actually see the figure. And speaking of Alan, we actually have an in-box image of Alan, as well as these figures, I believe, aren't too far off into the future, and the Alan figure in package looks pretty nice. We also have a look at the Gallimimus here in package, which also looks really quite nice. I'm way more excited, I think, for the Gallimimus now after seeing these images, more so than when I was from seeing the Generation Jurassic images. And then we have a look at the Hammond Collection Ceratosaurus, and this one is beautiful. This is definitely going to be my favorite Hammond Collection figure. There is no doubt in my mind. Until they release a Carnotaurus, this one right here is my favorite. Everything about this looks about as amazing as it gets, and I think they really captured the likeness of the Jurassic Park 3 Ceratosaurus quite perfectly. It looks so good with the paint running out all the way onto the tail and everything. Mattel really knocking this one out of the park, if you ask me, and as of right now, is easily my most anticipated Hammond Collection figure. And we also have a look at the Triceratops in box, but what is really quite depressing, I think, about this Triceratops, although it looks fantastic as far as the sculpt and paint from what we can see, considering the fact that it's in a package that looks like it's around the same size as the Baryonyx and the Parasaurolophus and probably the Ceratosaurus, that makes me feel like the Triceratops is way smaller than it should be, kind of like we were all worried about. We were hoping that we would get a more reasonably sized Triceratops, one that kind of sizes up better to the upcoming Hammond Collection T-Rex, and it's kind of hard to tell at this point from the inbox image, but I would be willing to bet that it's probably around the same size as those other figures. Also, the silhouette we had seen from the Generation Jurassic event kind of insinuated it would be around the same size as the Baryonyx and Parasaurolophus as well. I really can't wait to see the full images of this one, but I'm definitely a little bit let down when it comes to the size, if indeed it is around the same size as the Parasaurolophus and Baryonyx. So as of right now, guys, that's all the news I've got. It seems like tons of stuff from Mattel is just kind of dropping by the minute at this point, so if more comes out, I'll have to make another video and put that one up as well. But until then, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.